What's up, Pisces gang? Wishing you all a very happy birthday. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We are going to be doing a sort of a monthly tarot reading. I guess I'm calling it a March monthly tarot. There's really not any specific timestamp to this video. But yeah, we are going to pull some cards and see what comes up for you. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you are new, welcome. Happy to have you as well. But please do check out the FAQ that reads tarot rules for newbies so you can better understand what I do here on my channel. Other than that, let's hop in. Let's see what the universe wants. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna set an intention for love or money. We'll see what comes through, but based on the oracles, I'm gonna give you 3 different messages. So it looks like, let's see. So for people who are experiencing their return to Saturn, we'll pull some cards on that. So somewhere between the ages of 28 and like 30, 31, you may be going through a difficult period because it is your Saturn return, meaning that natally, wherever Saturn was born or placed, wherever Saturn was placed in the sky when you were born, it is returning to that exact same position in the sky, Pisces. So obviously that's a very specific message. I'm not going to linger on it too long, but I will pull cards for that. Then we're going to talk about your life purpose. We're going to talk about your North Node, especially in regards to what you are meant to accomplish in this lifetime, okay? And then we're going to talk about Neptune, okay? So that is your principal planet. Neptune rules over the sign of Pisces, and it does say sacrifice here. So let's see where this takes us. I'm doing a little bit of different readings this time and just seeing what you guys like and what works for you. So let's start with this return of Saturn. And if this doesn't sound like you, there might still be something in this message for you. So stick around if you see fit. Let's see. So for Pisces, what can I tell them about this return to Saturn? Some of you may be having issues with your father. Especially a father who is dating in the process of, maybe there was a divorce or something, dating a new person, and it seems like you are not in alignment with this person's values or what they're trying to do. Very I'm sort of getting like anti-stepmother, if that makes sense to any of you guys, male or female. What's the deal with that? Make sure you're using your power in a good way, in a beneficial way. You hold a lot of power, Pisces, but because there's an area where you're not feeling comfortable or you're feeling a little bit almost like attacked, I'm almost getting like Scorpio stinger. It's like you may overreact and say something very harsh or brutal. So I think the universe is saying, pull back in terms of your reaction. Make sure you can come to an inner conclusion before you speak, before you're vocal about something. And I'm almost hearing this too shall pass. Like there's something temporary about the situation where you're not feeling it. You're feeling very stifled. You're feeling a sense of struggle. And especially if you're dealing with a Saturn return, that will happen, right? Or if it's not a Saturn return, because these are general messages, the planet Saturn may be squaring something in your natal chart right now, and it's a particularly hard time. So because the planets are constantly changing and shifting, right, this situation will pass. So what guidance can I give to Pisces on this situation? 5 of Cups. Yeah, you're all up in your feels about it. Some of you, it feels like you already reacted, like you said something, especially to a parent or a masculine figure. You said something very harsh because you were hurt, right? You were feeling a sense of loss or sorrow, or something in your world was drastically changing and you weren't ready for it, and it felt like something was taken from you, or just there was this unexpected surprise, but you took it to heart. It was very turbulent or emotionally disturbing, and some of you may have overreacted or acted out in a way that you now feel shamed or embarrassed about. What can I tell Pisces about that? Everything is in alignment in that what you're viewing right now is a mistake or shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or whatever. I wish I had reacted differently. Know that that was destined. So you don't need to beat yourself up about that. You don't need to be super critical and judgmental of yourself, but it is important to be introspective at this time and look back and understand what you would have done differently or how you're going to choose to respond to that situation in the future if something similar arises or comes up. There was a very valuable lesson in the way you reacted to something, Pisces. So again, this is not about shaming yourself. It is, I always say this to you guys, I say it to everybody, it is about holding yourself accountable for the decisions you did make, and more or less, I'm hearing the word justify. It's easy to justify why you did something, but then still have this sense of shame about it. So it's almost like there needs to be like a reconciliation of the two, understanding why you did it, but not necessarily needing to justify it for your ego. That seems very important. A lot of you feel like you isolated yourself from a person. This could even be someone who you were in love with at one point, and maybe they weren't giving you what you wanted or desired, and it's almost like you brought the wrath of Black Lilith down, and you exerted your especially feminine power. Even for my males out there, we all have Lilith in our chart, right? So symbolically, it's like she's mystery, right? But in a sense, if she's wounded, she can be the scorned woman who vengeance, right? So I'm getting that with a male figure or a father figure. And yet, like, there's some really difficult energy attached to this, Pisces. So you have 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Swords. So here's the thing. Again, I understand that this feels like you are in the thick of, like, pardon my French, but like a shitstorm. That's what I get from this. But don't let that deter you, because again, what I'm getting from this is this was absolutely fated. This was destined, because you are meant to... It's almost like you're meant to tame that part of you that overreacts in a negative way. You are meant to learn a tremendous deal of knowledge about yourself, to be introspective and understand the parts of you that are very sensitive and vulnerable, or that when you feel victimized or attacked, you don't always take a healthy or the high road. You don't always practice healthy measures to deal with that frustration, that anger, that awkward situation. So I think this is saying, let that be a death. The old way of how you used to respond to uncomfortable or difficult people or situations. Understand that however or whichever way you chose to respond, you know it wasn't the correct way to do it. And the thing is, that's amazing that you're recognizing that now, right? That in itself is an awakening, and it's the death, essentially, of the old version of you. It's the death of using I'm hearing victimization. Using that to defy the universe, using this injustice was done to me, so I'm going to respond in this vindictive way to others. And the thing is, I so do not associate that with Pisces. However, there is a majority, or I shouldn't say a majority, a variety of people out there watching with, maybe this is a Pisces moon or a Pisces rising or whatever, right? No matter the case, Pisces do tend to have very sensitive hearts, but I could understand that in a Pisces who is feeling very overwhelmed and going through a really painful experience with someone who either they have a lot of love for, or the opposite, someone who's shown them no love or respect, it's like you bite back. And unfortunately, but also fortunately, you learn that's not the way of the universe. That's not the way that the universe, God, Source, Spirit wants you to deal with this situation. I think it has to do with setting firmer boundary lines of protecting your own self, protecting your own energy, and not letting other people invade yours, if that makes any sense. So what positive things can be taken away from this? For some of you, if you choose to engage with this person or this situation, it could be that an apology is in order, but you will have to kind of get off your high horse, right? You need to make an authentic apology, not because you feel it's what's necessary, because it's what you want to do to make it just. And it's possible this energy could go reverse, but I would and it might, right? There's a lot of duality in our lives with people we interact with a certain way, and then we're doing the same with someone else, but we're not always consciously aware of it. As much as this may feel like, you're the scorned lover and somebody did something to you, I would also challenge you to try and view it through the lens of, well, what are your shortcomings? Where in your life have you maybe taken a misstep or misspoke or done something in a lower vibration because you were hurting? Again, you can love yourself. You can forgive yourself. This doesn't need to be a prison sentence anymore. If anything, it's like there's freedom from past wounds. That's really the main story coming up here. You get what you give. So for some of you, this was a karmic lesson where, again, your response or your reaction to something transpired in a way where it somehow came back to you. It may be in a different form with a different person at a different job, however it is. So essentially what it's saying is pick yourself up, gather the pieces back up and rebuild. But rebuild in a way where what you're sending out, you would happily want to receive back. It's raise your vibration, right? Give the best version of yourself to others who deserve it, right? Who you feel are worth your time and energy and investment, because then you're going to get back the same investment from those who equally love themselves, but also want to engage it with you and in a more positive manner. And yeah, some of you, this is quite literal, like a Saturn return, where it's like you've been to hell and back. It's like you have reached the absolute bottom of, however you want to say it, like what is that expression? You've reached your absolute, you're in it. You're in the thick of it, like a shitstorm. Is how I would describe it. You are going to rebuild your way out of it. But again, so much of the Saturn return has to do with the comprehension of valuable lessons that you're learning it all for the first time, right? It's the first 28, 29, 30 years of your life. So everything you experience, in a sense, the challenges you experience, they're new, so they feel that much more weighted and heavy and, yes, important, right? So the second time around, it will be easier because you've already been through similar circumstances. And it's not to say the same tragedy or, shitstorm is going to fall upon you again. It's going to say that the major upsets in your life that you were experiencing at one point, when something comes around again that could potentially trigger you, you're going to remember. You're going to look back on the time where things got really out of control because you were too sensitive or you were a little too vulnerable, or maybe that's not the right way of putting it, but I hope you understand what I mean, where you won't respond the same way. You will respond differently with more emotional intelligence, with more wisdom, right? You're, like, I'm hearing the word hip, wise, I'm hearing like street smarts, like book smarts and street smarts. It's like, your way around the block now. You've been through the worst of it. So what follows this major experience that was just humbling, that was maybe even disappointing, it only gets better from here. Reciprocity. You're going to get something back from the universe. You're going to get a reward or a gift for making it through this turbulent situation and still coming out on top, not surrendering to the negative, toxic energy that could have arisen from this. And again, maybe it did, but it's about understanding, okay, maybe I'm at fault here. Maybe I know how I'm going to do it different next time, right? Self-enlightenment is really what's coming through there. So, and again, that may have something to do with a masculine figure in your life, particularly a father or a person in authority. Pisces, you're whipping out the heavy messages. I may as well just call these March monthly readings. I was trying to avoid it, but whatever. All right, so let's talk about your life purpose. Let's, North Node. North Node is what you're meant to accomplish in this lifetime. Moving away from what is easy or what is familiar to you to accomplish something great that not only serves you and your soul path, but ultimately it's about serving the community, serving all the other zodiac signs, serving the people around you. Tell me about, for Pisces, and this so feels like someone who, again, possibly is in the phase of a Saturn return, or maybe it's your second Saturn return, right? If you're around the age of late 50s, 60s, it could certainly be something like that. And it doesn't have to, guys, right? These are tarot messages, so if they speak to you and resonate, take them, do something positive with them. What can I tell Pisces? The life purpose, the North Node. Some of you are meant to, I'm hearing like ministry, preach, something like a position in a church or in a more spiritual sense. You're meant to lead spiritually, but it doesn't have to be involved in religion. It's like you're meant to be the leader of some sort of group who share some equal passion. You're meant to lead them. You're meant to step up into some point of authority or leadership. And maybe that's a lesson you learned, that by constantly falling in line with other people's authority and being essentially like one less. I'm almost getting like president versus vice president. It's like there's supposed to be a switch. There's supposed to be a flip-flop. You're meant to be in the leadership role now. You're supposed to take the initiative. Don't wait to be told what to do. Know in your heart what you want and go after it. Don't ask for permission anymore for what it is that you want to build in this lifetime. The card of building and teamwork. Yeah, I get the sense that a lot of you may work in a group or you may be working among your peers. And I don't know if there's intimidation or hesitation for you to step up and take the lead. And I'm almost getting in a very sensitive way, it's because you don't want to make others uncomfortable. You don't want to overstep your bounds. But to me, Spirit is saying, no, you're meant to stand up. You're something about making a speech. Do some of you have to make a big speech or a lecture? Do you want to go into teaching or something where you would be at the center? Yeah, something about teaching, or I keep kind of getting like the idea of the Hierophant, which is very much a card of family, tradition. Sometimes it's about conformity. It's about faith. It's about leadership. Stop it. There it is. I was literally seeing that the whole time because this is card 41. So it made me think of, okay, number 5, the Hierophant, right? And 5s, this is so beautiful that this came out because you have a lot of 5s. And I think, as a lot of you may know, 5s are difficult, right? 5s are agents of change and chaos. Again, they kind of show you the uglier side of life so that you can gain a comprehension and knowledge of those scenarios and then implement the positive lessons you gain from hardship in your life. I think this is committing to a new path. This is committing to a new plan. So even if you are 50, 60, 70, right? Whoever is watching this, it's time to commit to that thing that you want to build, that you want to build in this lifetime, that you want to manifest into fruition. It's not a time to get panicked or start to over question yourself, to be really stuck in your head. This is about taking practical steps forward. Earth energy. Some of you, your life purpose may be to join in terms of partnership. Now, it could be like divine romantic partnership to build a life, to build a family, to build a strong household, right? You could look at it like that. This is sometimes a card of marriage. Or that could be, like some of you literally are meant to, I don't know if it's counsel families or even quite literally be, I'm hearing like MC, like Master of Ceremonies, or I don't know. I know it seems like really intense, but like a pope, a priest, a spiritual figure in your community, a pastor, whatever it is. You're supposed to, okay, so some of you may be like a medium or channel the word of the divine, of God, of source, of spirit. Tarot readers, right? Maybe some of you are meant to do that. You're supposed to be doing work where you feel a sense of accomplishment at night, where you feel a sense of pride that it's not that you're going to change the world overnight, but certainly, shoot for the stars. But you can go to bed at night feeling like you're putting a little bit of light out into the world. Light workers, you're putting a little bit of goodness out into the world. You're helping people. You may be doing community outreach type stuff. You may, I know this is very kind of different, but it's not. It's something to do with architecture. So you may be helping to build homes for low-income families, or something about community outreach that may physically involve like your toolbox, your hammer and nails, and building shelters or working in homeless shelters. Or I could even see it as programming, like building some sort of programming to, I don't know, to get people involved. Or I suppose it could even be like computer programming as I'm hearing these things. But yeah, in fact, something with technology, an opportunity, a long-term commitment to a job requiring technology or architecture may be coming through for you. You're meant to build. You're meant to build and ascend closer to God, to the heavens. So what are you waiting for? Why are you questioning it? Are you afraid to step into the unknown because it is scary, because it quite literally is unknown? Are you falling back on old patterns, not because it's comfortable, because it's familiar, because this is the way life has always been, so that's how you expect it to always be? Saturn Return says no. Saturn Return says, you got your ass whooped, but again, it was divine. It was divinely timed. It was fated. It was destiny. Because had you not gotten your ass kicked a little bit, had you not been humbled and shown sort of the truth and the realities of life, you never could have ascended to accomplish all the great things that you were meant to. Again, from the lowest of lows comes this divine gift, this reciprocity of, I know you put your time and energy into something. For some of you, it will come into fruition. For others of you, it felt like it was taken away, because that's not where the story ends, because you're meant to go on and build somewhere else or with someone else or do something else. But I see you guys really struggling with making the executive decision to push through your fear and embrace this new cycle. You have a lot of twos here, right? This one or that one, this way or that way, this person or that one. This is about real estate. This is the Lord of Dominion. Do I build across the country, or do I stay in the familiarity of my family, of my home, of everything that I've already know and love? It's an important decision, and it's a decision that does require a lot of time and attention. It's not something you want to make impulsively, but I get the impression that you guys have been sitting on this decision for a long time, and I'm almost getting like fool energy, like it's time to finally take that leap of faith. Because it's almost like you have God's permission. You have, whatever you believe in, God, spirit, universe. It's like you have their permission. The divine is showing up saying, yes, build this. This will allow you to sleep at night knowing that you're living out your life's purpose. Yeah, and ending of an old cycle and the embracing of a new. It's time to release what doesn't serve you anymore, Pisces, things that have been holding you back, especially in terms of on your mental plane, mentally what you were holding on to, that it's time to organically release it, because then you have a really beautiful offer coming in that's going to make you very, very happy. You'll be living out your life's purpose. For a lot of you, it may even have to do with something you wanted to do as a child, right? Maybe you wanted to act, maybe you wanted to sing, maybe you wanted to dance, whatever it is. Maybe you quite literally want to work with children. Maybe you want to be a school teacher. Whatever that is, there's an offer coming in that's going to make you very happy, as long as you're willing to take a leap of faith, right? Don't be afraid to leave behind what is familiar and what is good to make room for something that is great, something that exceeds your expectations. All right, Pisces. This is a long one. Interesting. I feel like this is what the universe wanted, though, so I'm not going to question it. All right. Let's see. Let's do this one. Why not? Tell me about Neptune. Sacrifice. What does Pisces need to sacrifice? Or what don't they? I don't know. Let's see what the story says. What do I need to tell Pisces about this card, Neptune? What do I need to tell Pisces about Neptune? For some of you, you need to sacrifice your ego. It's okay that you don't know all the answers, that you don't know anything. And I can almost hear some of you saying, I don't think I know everything. I feel like in a very self-deprecating way, you're like, I know nothing. I'm always confused about what the next step is. And the universe is saying, like, that's okay. Like, I know that's very contradictory, but there's something about, it has to do with changing the way you speak to yourself. I'm getting almost like an intuitive thing here. It's like you speak it into existence. So if you're constantly telling yourself, I don't know and I'm confused, well, that's going to be your belief then, right? So it's almost like fake it till you make it. Even if you have to move forward, only having a few pieces of the puzzle, you can't fully visualize it all together. That's okay. That's no reason to delay or stop or to not move forward with something. Obviously, you need to do it with rationale, right? With logic, and also trusting your intuition. But a lot of you may struggle with perfectionism. It's like, I'm not going to do this until I can do it 110%. And the thing is, there's value to be gained in doing it, whatever this is, a career trajectory, whatever. I'm even going to say like 50%, because at least you're putting in some energy and being able to learn something from it. Especially if you're trying to build a career, do not undervalue the importance of rejection, of constructive criticism. Don't necessarily be overly sensitive and take it to heart, but if you're looking for authentic, hey, is this working for you? Would you buy this product? Do you like how I've done this? Opening yourself up to that, it may actually give you the missing pieces to the puzzle that you were so desperately yearning for. It's almost like you're hoping to come to the conclusion yourself just through practice, but it's something about opening it up to the network of other people. Again, as much as you want to, set some healthy boundaries so that you're not taking on their opinion as your own, and that may be challenging for some of you guys out there, right? But yeah, there's something about not wanting to move forward until it's absolutely perfect, but you're not going to know it's absolutely perfect until it's almost like until you poll the crowd, the people, the clients, until you get their perspective. So, and I do think that does have to do with, and for some of you, it's the surrender of ego. The thing is, I don't know if ego is the correct term in terms of like the way we view ego as, it's not like cockiness. It's more not wanting to damage your sensitivity, your ego, your pride of, oh, I put this together and I'm so proud of it. But what if I, release it to the public and they shit all over it? What if I publish my blog and I have some troll who's like, this is the worst thing I've ever read? Again, you need to take into consideration whose voice and opinion really matters. But I do think I mean, ultimately, haters gonna hate, right? You can't please everybody, and that may be something you need to sacrifice, as being a people pleaser, trying to please everybody, because then your ideas are going to get really muddled. They're going to get really confused, and that's Neptune. It's like everything just kind of, it's like this gaseous thing where it just, everything just kind of melds together, and you lose sense of yourself and your identity. However, again, I understand the contradiction here, so I'm hoping it lands with some of you guys. There is something of value of putting yourself out there and understanding where it sits with your target audience, Pisces, with who you're aiming to please or who you're aiming to get business from, right? Whatever this is, you have to find out one way or the other, and I think that's the best way to do it, but you have to sacrifice either your ego or your sensitivity of this. It's almost like, this is such a crude expression, but it actually makes so much sense to me in film school, right? We would, you'd make a cut and then you'd show it to the class, and people would, again, give you constructive criticism, some of which you would agree with, others you were like, oh, you totally don't understand what this is about, right? You have to be able to have that filter for yourself. Again, protect your boundaries of what you're willing to allow in. However, there was this expression that just came to be, and I didn't make it up. I'm not coining this. I'm sure other people use this, but it's like killing your darlings or killing your babies. I think that's like an expression that has to do with like a piece of literature. So if you know, let me know in the comments below. But anyway, it's true. It's like you've birthed this film, you've birthed this novel, you've put it out into the world, and it's your little thing, and you love it. It's so precious. It's so dear. So the minute someone starts picking it apart and being like, well, I don't like this, and why did you do that? By default, it is going to trigger you a little bit because, oh, you're like, this is part of me. This came out of me. So by default, they're criticizing me. That's where there needs to be this separation, this Neptune energy of, no, it's all one, and this is an extension of me. It is, but it also isn't, because it's by releasing it into the world, you're allowing it to take on this new energy. So let it do that. Let it breathe. It's almost like trying to suffocate your child of, no, you can't go to college. No, you can't leave me. Does this make sense? And for some of you, this may literally have to do with maybe over engulfing or overpowering your child. There's something valuable to be gained by, I'm wanting to say, missing pieces of the puzzle. By not having it all worked out entirely, that knowledge will come, but you need to take an uncomfortable risk. There's going to be, based on what I've described, I don't know how that relates to you or your guys' life, but I hope it does. There's a light bulb. There's an epiphany moment of doing something when you're a little bit unsteady or a little bit uncertain, because I don't know, the criticism, the praise, the feedback, the reception you get from it, it's going to be that missing link where you're like, oh, I get it now. Be brave, Pisces. Be very brave. Yeah, this is the same message. For a lot of you, it has to do with speaking up, with sharing your voice. It could be, be doing that lecture, starting your YouTube channel, doing your podcast. A lot of you, it's like you're trying to look for any point at which someone can criticize you, but it's delaying the release of something. Or, I mean like the release date of presenting your work. It's something about, again, not wanting to sacrifice, I don't know if sacrifice is the right term, but not wanting to reveal the true you, not wanting to be vulnerable, because I think you are very susceptible to criticism, and so that in itself is going to be a karmic lesson for you. Again, more fives. 555, right? Sounds like a helpline. Call 555. You need to be courageous. In fact, something to do with phones. I don't know if you're selling phones or some device that works, like an app on the phone. Something to do with phones is coming through here. I don't know what that is, but so here's the thing. Know in advance that there will be criticism, and essentially be okay with that. And again, you need to draw firm lines of how much criticism you're going to take on and actually implement in your work of, okay, they don't seem to like this, so I guess I need to go back to the drawing board. Don't take it as a criticism of you. Look at it as positive reception and feedback that you're getting back. Don't let it do this to you. Don't let criticism become your 10 of swords. You're like, that's it. I give up. Nobody likes me. Nobody likes my art. Nobody likes my ideas. That's wrong. This is a spark inside you. This is a page of wands. It feels like you're being called and moved to go towards this direction. So you need to honor that, and you need to understand that true innovative minds, true innovative people, because what they're doing is so different or unique or special, Pisces, you are always going to cause waves. There's going to be waves of people going, oh my God, this is fascinating. Did you see what Pisces is doing? And then there's going to be the other, wave of critical reception where it's like, this is weird. I don't get that. Who do they think they are? They can't just do things their own way. Yes, you can. I'm telling you, you can. That's your karmic lesson. Other people's criticism doesn't need to matter to you if it's not helpful to your path forward, if it's not helping you grow and develop. You do need to develop tough skin, and you also need to be courageous at this time. Develop, a greater sense of self-worth, and let things roll off your shoulders, let things roll off your back, whatever the expression is, because people are always going to be on the defense to something that is new and different, History has proven that. True innovative minds do things their own way and they don't ask for permission, right? Anyway, trust your audience, and trust yourself too. All right, Pisces, that's what I got for you. I know y'all were looking for a love reading probably, but I'm trying to do things a little bit differently. So I'll catch you next week. We'll probably do some love readings then, but that didn't really come up in your reading, other than maybe this marriage guy. Some of you may have marriage on the horizon, so possibly with a Scorpio, or do I have any other arcana? King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Anyway, that's what I got for you, Pisces. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time. Bye. Welcome to the Intuitive Teacup, my friends. These tarot readings are meant to motivate, empower, and inspire you. Please keep an open heart and an open mind as you watch these general readings, as some material will resonate and some might not. Do have faith it is serving someone out there, and take away only what resonates for you. Please release the rest. Feel free to book a personal reading with me if you would like something catered specifically to your inquiries and energy. That information is down below for you. You are responsible for all actions and decisions and the vibe that you bring to this channel. This is optional advice or guidance, and of course, you will always have free will. Check the box below for my social media links, the decks I use, and more information on this channel. Let's hop into your tarot reading.